Your parents, if your children, if everyone else you had ever known and ever would know could either be an atheist, with all the depravity that entails, or would have to be a devout Muslim, living under the same conditions we see now on the news, let's say, from Afghanistan. Which planet would you choose? Which one should be the future of planet Earth? Because don't fucking kid yourself. That is the jihad the Muslims are fighting for. They are not fighting to make Islam a personal choice, the way you dumb left-wing fucks think that smoking marijuana should be a personal choice in Seattle, the way in the streets of Vancouver they have de facto legalized heroin. That's not what they're fighting for, and they are playing to win.
Well, you just heard Aysel Mazard from a video that he made entitled, "I'm Quitting Atheism, It's Not Islamophobic Enough for Me." Now, not all atheists on YouTube are kind of wishy-washy like me and tiptoe around Islam and, try to be as polite as we can to, I suppose, appease the standards of civil liberties, etc. And Aysel is certainly outspoken, not only in atheism, but he's also a fairly well-known vegan who has launched scathing attacks on the vegan movement and given a pessimistic assessment of the future of veganism. He's accused of veganism of failing and said that in his book, The Future of an Illusion, that they will continue to fail for reasons which he outlines in the book. This pessimism seems to be matched only by his attitude to online atheist activism, which he seems to see as fairly ineffective. Anyway, let's go with this video. I've put together about 9 minutes worth of clips from a 25-minute video. I would recommend you watch the whole thing. I've posted a link below in the description if you'd like to do that, and also look at some of Aysel's other videos. It's not easy to find the atheist content because he's got about 2,500 videos on there. Obviously, some are on veganism. He also has done a lot on philosophy, and he's an expert in Buddhism and some Far Eastern languages, etc. So I would recommend you visit his channel and give it a bit of a chance. It takes some getting used to, but there is some very useful material there. I've certainly found it very good on the whole, but obviously I don't see eye to eye with him on all matters, as you would expect. So the first part of this video, unfortunately, is slightly out of sync. I don't know why that happened. It's only the first couple of minutes and then it's fine. So let's go with it and hear what Aysel's got to say.
It's not that the 12-step programs don't work. It's that food addiction isn't a real addiction, and that's why they can't be cured in this way. The problem is food addicts are fake addicts, unlike me. I have a real addiction I'm going to let you in on, and none of you...
Yeah, sorry. The context of this, because I didn't show you the whole thing, is basically that with food, in the United States at least, they're starting to say that it's a dependency, it's an addiction which people haven't got control over, and they're citing various reasons for it. And Aysel is laughing at that and saying that's crazy. It's not a real addiction at all. And the reason that there are various programs which can be used to help people overcome addictions, it's failing with food, and the reason for that is it's not an addiction, it's just damn laziness and stupidity. Let's keep going.
Can fucking judge me just because I own up to the fact that I am an addict. Is it hot in here, or I'm just looking for an excuse to show off my chest hairs? All right, now that we're all sitting in this goddamn circle, here's the deal. I'm an addict. I'm a fucking addict. My name is Benjamin Lord, and I am addicted to atheism. It's a real addiction. You can't blame me. And also, you have to stop calling me Islamophobic.
Sorry, just got to stop there. That's hilarious. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been addicted to anything. I don't want to say what I was addicted to, but I once went to an addiction group, and it really is like that. Yeah, my name's Stuart. I'm powerless over, whatever it is. It wasn't alcoholism, by the way. I suppose that doesn't leave much. It just leaves gambling, doesn't it? Okay, it was gambling, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, that's exactly how it works. And I'm addicted to gambling. I've got no control over it.
Atheism is a real addiction. Atheism. People devote their lives to it. People cut off all contact with their family for it. When people can't have it, they go into a kind of withdrawal. People are...
Now, that is true. I did a poll on my channel, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And the question was, how often do you consume atheism on YouTube? And something like 70% of you said every day. Now, me too. If that's not an addiction, I don't know what it is. I can't imagine going through a whole day without watching some kind of atheist program at least. Obviously, I've got a channel, so I've got another reason to do it. But even before I had my channel, I was watching, watching atheism nearly every day, or maybe even every day. So, it's like a kind of addiction, guys. Let's face it.
Sucking dick in the streets for atheism all the fucking time. Now, the question I have to ask you is this. Before you go off on this bullshit rant about civil liberties and freedom of personal choice, do you think the world would be a better place if everyone were a Muslim or if nobody were?
What a lovely, easy question. He asks such easy questions. I think it's wonderful.
Do you think this would be a better planet if it were basically planet Saudi Arabia, the whole world under the rule of Sharia law, with every woman's face covered in public, with every man's penis having the end chopped off in this miserable ceremony from the Dark Ages? Would you rather live in planet Saudi Arabia or planet Las Vegas, with nothing in between? Oh, yes, well, you may say it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice if people want to use cocaine or not. It's a personal choice if people want to practice the Muslim faith or not. Personal choice. Do you want to live on a planet where 100% of people are drug addicts or zero? Which would you prefer? If your parents, if your children, if everyone else you had ever known and ever would know could either be an atheist with all the depravity that entails, or would have to be a devout Muslim living under the same conditions we see now on the news, let's say from Afghanistan, which planet would you choose? Which one should be the future of planet Earth? Because don't fucking kid yourself. That is the jihad the Muslims are fighting for. They are not fighting to make Islam a personal choice the way you dumb left-wing fucks think that smoking marijuana should be a personal choice in Seattle. The way in the streets of Vancouver they have de facto legalized heroin. That's not what they're fighting for. And they are playing to win.
Don't scroll. You're going to want to hear this. About 70,000 Christians are converting to Islam every single year. Why is this? As a Christian that converted to Islam myself, I can tell you that there's so many people out there that don't even know about Islam.
You know how after 9/11, everyone started referring to Muslims as terrorists and how Islam is spread by the sword? How Muslims force their religion on people? I ask you, is it a coincidence that after all...
Yeah, this was something that really surprised me when I started looking at the statistics and found the number of white Americans who are switching to Islam. And it's mind-boggling, worrying, very worrying.
all this hatred for Islam, that there are so many people every single day converting to Islam, which in result has made Islam the fastest growing religion.
I realize full well that the Christian culture of Italy hypothetically could be just as bad as the Islam of Saudi Arabia. Hypothetically, the future of Catholic Italy could be just as dark.
Now, this is ISIL dealing with your objections, because you will say, and I've had people say on my channel, oh, Christianity is just as bad, or Christianity can be just as bad. Come on, don't kid yourselves. Islam is far worse. You only have to look at where it's happening. Don't look at the West, because obviously we've got our laws, but things could change with time. There was a bit of a joke going around about 10 or 15 years ago when Gordon Brown was the Prime Minister of Britain, that, I don't know, some magician arrived and said, I've got a telephone here and you can speak to the Prime Minister of the UK in the year 2050. And he phones up and he says, hello, it's Gordon Brown here, Prime Minister from 2008. And at the other end he heard something, and Gordon Brown held the phone back. He said, I can't understand what he's saying. It's like some kind of, Arabic language. Don't laugh. It could happen.
Just as hopeless as the new dark ages we've seen arise, most recently in Afghanistan. And yet, nevertheless, I think you'd feel much more comfortable taking a beach vacation in Italy than you would in fucking Yemen, where I hear the snorkel diving is impeccable. At this stage already, most people presume that Catholicism in Italy is so corrupt, is so gloriously rotten to its core, that the future of Italy is going to look a whole lot more like Las Vegas in the 1970s than it will look like Afghanistan in 2022. Where you belong, the sands. Las Vegas wouldn't be the same without us. Do you remember just a few years ago, there was a Broadway musical endlessly ridiculing the Mormons, taking out the Mormon religion and showing what a fucking joke it really is? When will we ever see a Broadway musical attempt to do that to Islam?
Hello, my name is Elder Grant. It's a book about America a long, long time ago.
At this point, I begin to feel that everyone is just sitting back and waiting for the Mormons to discover irony. Like, at some point, sooner or later, they just won't be able to take their own religion seriously anymore. You could wait another 1,000 years, neither with the Mormons, nor with the Scientologists, nor with the millions upon millions of devout Muslims will it ever happen. You cannot sit back passively and wait for faith to debunk itself, wait for religion to discredit itself. Even the fucking cults that put a specific day on the calendar, say that's the day Jesus is coming back, or that's the way the world is going to end, when that day comes and goes, they keep on believing. I mean, it's a beautiful dream in its way, or even a kind of fantasy, that one day soon, all of these religions could just become a kind of relaxed, vaguely hypocritical, holier-than-thou social club. A place where people go, I don't know, to get drunk and get laid. Like the Green Party, or the Reform Party, or the Pirate Party. Holy shit. I'm getting horny just thinking about all these fucking doomed political causes I could go to and get my dick sucked.
Here's what I would say, that I think that we should foster a culture in which people's private religious beliefs, including atheists and agnostics, are respected. And that's the kind of culture that I think...
This is the problem, you see. Of course, we're all atheists. We think that all religions are bullshit. Of course, I know there are Buddhist atheists, but no. We all know that religion is poison. And yet, we've got presidents who are respectabilizing it and saying that, it's like ISIL said, with heroin, it's freedom of choice. I mean, religion is as much, metaphorically speaking, poison as heroin is, and yet we've got a president. It's like a president saying we've got to foster a society in which, people can take heroin, crack cocaine, and I mean, really, to me as an atheist, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like he's saying, and that's what Eisel's getting at, I think.
Allows all of us then to believe what we want.
You may be living with the delusion that the apogee of left-wing liberal discourse is to say, you do you, baby, it's all a matter of personal choice. But it's not. It's a matter of our shared planetary fate. Do you want to live on a planet that is 100% atheist, 100% Las Vegas, or 100% Islam, 100% Sharia law? Figure out what it is you're fighting for, and then goddamn fight, old boy, because the other side is already going at it. Oh, and this brings me back to the topic of the video. Do you realize how high the stakes are with this so-called body positivity, intellect negativity nonsense? You think we can't have a planet that's 100% obese? Do you think we can't have a planet that has a rate of 0% obesity? We can. We can have one or the other, but not both. And our journey toward one destination or the other begins with our admitting to ourselves what it is we want and what it is we're willing to do to get it.
Okay, there we are. Not much more for me to add, really. It speaks for itself. I hold my hand up. I've been a lazy atheist, but that's not good enough, is it? You know, just to say, it's like the thing with being a addict. I'm just an addict. I'm sort of beyond help, and consequently, I'm ineffective. And I suppose that, not I suppose, but the fact is that most of us out there, Matt Dillahunty, Jimmy Snow, the whole lot, what are we doing? We're just creating content. We're just creating entertainment. We're just feeding the addiction of other atheists. We're completely ineffective. I know Matt will say, oh, well, you know, somebody came to me after one of my conferences or debates and said, hey, you really changed my life. Well, I mean, big deal. The fact is that the real evil of Islam is spreading and spreading and growing and growing. And we're doing sod all about it. We're doing absolutely nothing. So think about the film The Untouchables. We've got the character played by Sean Connery. He's taken 100 bullets from a mafioso. He's on the ground. He's got Elliot Ness, and he gets hold of Elliot Ness and he says, "What are you prepared to do?" That's what it's all about. Thanks for watching.